Another video, exciting week for us. We finished our door, restoring the reclaimed door that we bought, and we've got a carpenter coming today I'm just waiting for him to turn up at the moment, and he's going to install the archway above the door, so he can knock through all the brickwork and he's already created an archway, I think, at home. He's took all the measurements and stuff that he needs the other week, and he's going to install our new door. We've painted the door, so that's all done now. I've painted the frame that it comes with, and we've also had our other door delivered that I was on about, and I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek of that now. We're not fitting that at the moment, so myself and my wife are going to try and fit that. But I think just with the archway and everything above the door, I just decided to get a carpenter around that I've used before to do that, and he's really, really good. So this is what the door is looking like at the moment. So we've got everything painted, and we've got the frame that's all next to it over here. All the glass is in. I haven't put any of the letterbox and everything in yet. I've still got to do that. I'm just going to do that at the end when he's done everything. We've ordered one new lock for it, but we've taken another lock off another door inside, which is what we're going to replace with this other door I'm going to show you in a second. But I think it's looking really smart. I think the colour is, I think it's called agate grey, and it's a bit of a weird colour. So I think it just changes colour in different lights. It's obviously it's called grey. In some lights it does look quite grey, and in some lights it looks like a sort of beigey green. It's really common amongst cottages, and I think it's going to suit the house really well. It goes really nicely with the white render. So then in terms of the other door that we've bought, this is it. So a very, very similar style, and we wanted to go for a matching style. We've had this door custom built, totally made up. It's a wooden door, and we've got the kind of I think they're called side lights on each of the sides. So we've got all the glass for it. None of the glass is in it at the moment. I've got all that in the barn, so we're gonna have to put that in ourselves. And then because this is already assembled, that's why I was saying my wife and myself are gonna hopefully just be able to take the door out that we've got at the moment over there and basically just install it and, you know, screw it into the brickwork. So I'll just quickly show you where it's going to go. So it's actually inside the conservatory, because we're on about knocking this conservatory down. The conservatory's full of stuff at the moment, how we've been having to move things around just from all the building work that we've been having done. But this is where the new door is going to go. So we've got all this, like, I really don't like this brickwork that's up here at the moment. So I'd really welcome any ideas that people might have around what we could do with that. You know, we've thought, do we render it and so it kind of matches? But then we really don't like the stone effect render on it, and we've been talking about maybe over the next year or so, we're going to end up trying to strip back some of the render and take all the render off and either re-render it, or depending on the state of the brickwork behind it, I don't know, we might even leave it, take it back to the brick. Not really decided yet. I think we won't know for a bit for that. I think there's been all sorts of things going through my mind with this. Do we put almost like oak posts around it? Do we replace all the brickwork to have more of like a reclaimed brickwork that's, I guess, more the style of this property? And I think we've had some examples of the brickwork that comes out of that's come out of the house, and it's a lot more of like a red brick, and so we could go for something like that. I don't know whether this is going to end up turning into an enormous job, because we've got all this flooring down here, this kind of tile flooring, which we actually want to get rid of and we want to put in limestone slabbed flooring pretty much throughout the majority of the downstairs, I think, over time. So when we come to take this door out, I don't really want to then get spending money on right at this moment trying to replace all the flooring in here. But hopefully we can get it in and out easy enough. The brickwork. So the dark in here. Let me try and turn the light on. Don't know if that makes any difference. So we had this wall skimmed, and they did all the insulation around this wall. So they've actually brought the wall in a little bit. And because we want to actually get rid of this brickwork and change it for something else, I think what I'm actually going to do is take all the brickwork out and put the door in that like this way instead of putting it in from inside out. And then we can then redo the brickwork or do whatever we want here. But yeah, if anyone's got any ideas around what could look really nice around this door, please let me know in the comments. Welcome suggestions. So I just want to take a few moments to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Reolink. Reolink are a security camera company, and they've kindly sent me a security camera, which I'm going to show you in a second. So moving to a rural property, I think there's definitely a few quirks with it that we're still getting used to. The fact that we've got the neighbours aren't very close, the fact that there's no street lights, so it's totally pitch black at night. Not really knowing when the delivery driver's here, when you're like the other side of the land. And I mean, with more land, you have more tools, and luckily we've got a barn to keep all that the tools in. But having those tools, it's an easy thing to have stolen. So actually having security cameras up is a really good deterrent. So Reolink have sent me the Atlas PT Ultra, which is a 360 degree like swivel auto tracking camera, and it works totally off Wi-Fi, it works off solar, so there's no wires, no need to plug it in. Apparently the battery on them is enormous, and apparently it lasts around 500 days, I think is the quoted. I'm guessing if you put that on continuous recording, then that'll probably zap it a lot quicker. Nice packaging, and it feels quite hefty. It feels solid. So there's your little antenna for the Wi-Fi. Yeah, so this is it's totally 4K. So, and this is the kind of swivel camera on it, and so I'm going to be looking to install that. That seems nice. And I think the other thing that it has, and I think a lot of the Reolink cameras have them, is something called ColorX. So we've had a Google Nest camera. We've got two of them. We've probably had that for like 4 or 5 years, and I don't know whether the battery's just going on them, but we're having to constantly take them down, charge them, put them back up again. So that having solar is brilliant. But ColorX, well, the reason why I was mentioning the Google Nest cameras is because in the dark, Google Nest just films black and white, and it's pretty poor quality. But with these, they'll record colour at night. So I'm really looking forward to trying that out. If you're interested in getting a security camera set up, whether it's you're sort of dipping your toe into it, or you are upgrading your existing system, Reolink are offering 5% off on their website if you use the code Georgian Cottage 5, and that will run until the end of 2025. So definitely check them out. So thanks again to Reolink, and back to fitting that door. So carpenter Lucas has been around all day today. He's coming back tomorrow. I think he estimates it's probably going to be 2 days worth of work, but he's been knocking through the archway at the top of the door. There was some pretty loose bricks up there, so he's had to mortar quite a few bricks back in, and he's made a frame for the archway in his workshop at home, and he's brought that with him now, and he's kind of, at the moment, he's foamed that in place, and he's going to screw it into the brickwork tomorrow. He's just put a board over this at the moment, just some OSB or something, just to try and make it a bit weatherproof, I guess, for the night. I think it was a much bigger job than he thought it was gonna be. So you can see here we've got now inside the archway. Annoyingly, this wall, which is it's actually supporting a steel, so he's had a look into the wall there, and there's a steel that runs all the way across here, and we can't really do much about this wall. I think I'm going to be able to take all the plasterboard off this. There's actually quite thick plasterboard on it, and there's plasterboard, and then there's a layer of plaster as well. Like I think he said it was like, I don't know, cement plaster or something. It's like an old plaster, but that's quite thick. We're going to take all that off just to try and get as much room as we can out of that wall. But you can see how the frame kind of comes over a little bit into the wall, and that's you can actually see where the brickwork is here. So I don't know whether this was added at some point. This wall, I don't know whether it was added at some point, but we've got to work with the opening that we've got here, and the glass and everything is going to be fine. So the glass will sit here, so you'll be able to see all of this, but it's just that this edge might be just ever so slightly hidden in the plasterboard of the wall. And I think, like I said, we've got to work with the opening. We can't redo the opening at all in terms of taking all the brickwork out. I think that'll just turn into an absolutely enormous job. So he's going to take all. He's going to, obviously, like I said, he's going to. That's going to set if it's not already, and he's going to screw it all in to the wall, and then he's going to start installing the door and the frame tomorrow. So we'll have to get a piece of glass made up for that, and I'm guessing I'm just going to have to take like a template or something to a glassmaker's, and they can make up a custom piece of glass to go in there. So yeah, I think it's going to look really good once this is done. The light coming in and everything. So the plasterboard ceiling, I'm now going to start taking this down, because as you can see, it's the actual wooden frame goes well above the plasterboard ceiling here, and I've been kind of dying to take down the plasterboard on the ceilings just to see what the timbers are like, the joists are like above it. So I'm going to try and do that now. I'm going to absolutely fill this room with dust, I think, and I'm only going to do this kind of hallway area for now. I do want to do all of the, like in here with the lounge, but I think just for the sake of this bit, I'm just going to try and keep it to the hallway just for now, and hopefully I'll have that all done for when he comes back tomorrow. Doors all in, fully fitted. I think it looks incredible. Really suits the house. So we've just got some perspex in here at the moment. I've ordered some glass for it. It's a lot cheaper than I thought. I think it was only like less than £100 for the glass. I've also got to do some patching in here where the render is and just paint that white. And we're missing a key cover here that I've got on order. It's got a storm guard in. I'm going to sand this limestone step down, just take all the black paint that's on it at the moment. And then inside, all of the plasterboard ceiling has come down, so we've got all these oak beams, or at least I think they're oak, that's exposed. I think those will come up pretty good when sanded. There's some pipe work here. This is the new pipe work that we've had for all the radiators around the house. So that, I think that will probably need taking up a little bit higher to then allow us to get the plasterboard in. And then looking from the back of the door, that is the view. Seems pretty airtight. And we've still got to do all the plasterboard around it and put a plasterboard archway in. So there's some tidying up to do there. It opens nicely. I think he's done a really good job. So very, very happy. And that's it for this week. So feels like we've made a really decent amount of progress on the look of the front of the house with that new door. Myself and my wife went and picked up another bargain off eBay. So we've picked this country farmhouse style dining table up. It needs all sanding down. Luckily there's no paint to strip off it, so I'm really glad about that. And really like the legs on it, the kind of decorative style that they've got. So that was only £30 on eBay, so yeah, definite bargain. But thanks for watching, and please hit the like button, the subscribe button, leave us a comment, tell us what you think of the door, and I'll see you at the next one.